Hello. Happy Saturday. The start of another weekend. And as we do every Saturday, we are continuing our playthrough of Disco Elysium. Now, let's get into it. Let's continue. Gonna get right into it since I think it's probably like a late start. Took a while for me to set up. Okay. What were we up to here? Gonna investigate the doomed commercial district some more.
What have you found? And all okay, but please, only a few questions. You wouldn't want to disturb the spirits.
Oh, what about the wards on the back door? Are those Simonees as well?
Yes, the Simonees are very crafty, and their wards are extremely powerful. Lesser wards simply won't do here.
Okay.
Before you scans the
Fair enough. Let's just go back in here. Actually,
shelves filled to the brim with crime novels featuring.
I'm gonna buy the Dick Mullen novel.
Such violence and immorality. I mean, enjoy.
Alright. Once I sort this, we'll have a look at that book. Definitely wanted to get that. Okay, let's have another look through here. We need that cube. Gotta get that cube.
The barbell waits
What would it take to lift
on the
this?
floor, like a dog for its master.
Yeah, we're gonna hurt ourselves doing that. Let's not. Okay, is there anything we missed here?
Tiles on the cube.
Nothing there.
As before, an iron safety curtain curves before your eyes. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney. This is directly above the central furnace in the cellar. Again, your voice becomes a sudden bout. You took your shot and still missed. Well,
Thing up here I missed? Nah. Does someone live here? I don't know, Chief. So we got the big pry bar. While we're here, we might see if we can do this check now. Do we
a thick
repeat
layer
this?
of coal
Yeah.
dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
Give it a shot.
Something.
Yeah,
like
success.
A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then,
Hello?
There's someone there.
awaken the entity.
I summon the ghost of this doomed commercial area. Answer me, spirit.
Hello? Did you say anything?
upstairs. The sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
Nice. We actually managed to get this time. Okay, let's finish up what we're doing here, then we'll go up there and check it out. Right. So, we needed the heavy duty tool for this.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting. Only the red cable is plugged into the breaker box, while the black one lies neglected on the floor. Somewhere, a machine
What if we
hums
plug
along
back
with the
in?
current, happy and contented. This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine.
Yeah, that lowers the check. We don't want to do that.
2 cables are plugged into the something close to you dies with a soft electric purr.
Very smart. Opening the lid should be much easier after the ice cream maker has defrosted.
We're still gonna have a tough time with this though.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting. Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams. In the distance, you hear water dripping. It's all gone now. You'll never become a poet or an entrepreneur.
Do we have anything that's gonna help with this? I don't think we do, but let's have a quick look. Got a white tank top that'll help. Oh, this t-shirt. Maybe we'll use that. Okay, I think that's all we got.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting.
That's still not great odds. Oh well.
Ice squeaks beneath your Kavalzun multi-tool, but your fingers slip away from the tool. The lid shutters tightly as before. And it's already unplugged. There's not much else to do other than wait for it to defrost or bulk up and get stronger.
So waiting will make the check easier. Or we can try to... Unfortunately, we can't level up our physical instrument. We're already at the maximum for the moment.
This orange machine.
We're just gonna have to wait on that. Oh well. Let's get our flashlight up so we can see what we're doing. Alright, so it should have been up here. Yeah, this is open now. Dice. Candy dispenser repurposed to contain thousands of dice. Well, let's in here this person.
Hello, I'm Nia. Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Melius. So what kind of die are you looking for?
Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with this masquerade for now. She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
Hold on, what do you mean by milieu?
Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
You must have me confused with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
Maybe. I'm not really sure why I'm here, honestly.
How strange. Well, if you're interested, my rate is 10 real per set. Unless you want something really unusual. Take a look around and see if there's any particular stone you want to use.
Walls around here are covered with rows of precious stones and minerals.
This person means you or no one else. Absolutely no harm. She will answer freely and honestly.
How'd you become a dice maker?
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there.
Do you like role-playing games yourself?
Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
She's thankful for the security they provide her.
What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the whirling in rags?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
Who cares about the dead body? We might be dealing with a malignant entity here. The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
I'm pretty sure she means tabletop Sophie. What do you mean by the daily ruckus?
Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's not sorry to disappoint you. Informing on someone in a murder investigation would intrude upon her focused existence.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
And you never took your eyes off the work to look out the window?
I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
This person values focus above all. She keeps her sharp sight on the instruments before her.
Do you often work Sunday nights?
It's an odd profession, making dice for people. but I like it. And I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
I see. Thank you for your answers.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
Okay, I'd like to order a die from you.
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
Do you have any cursed dice?
What do you mean by cursed?
As cursed as this commercial area.
Alright, how about I surprise you? Come back in 8 hours with 7 real, and I'll give you your cursed die.
I'm regretting this. Actually, need to think about it
Maybe
first.
you have some other ideas for dice?
I wonder what I get if I say I'm looking for something to help with my
I
work.
think I have just the right one for you.
Police colors.
Because I'm a police officer, right?
Not the most original, I know. But sometimes the obvious choice is obvious because it's best. Here, catch. They're a gift from me.
Catch the dice.
Mr. Smooth moves. You snatch the dice out of the air with one hand, just like you're in a movie.
Say nothing. Act like you've done this 1,000 times.
What are the odds? The red one is made of bloodstone with a lapis lazuli inlay, and the blue one is the inverse. Think of them as your lucky charm, officer.
She smiled at you. She smiled. You truly are Mr. Smooth Moves.
Mr. Smooth Moves.
You definitely need luck in Martinez. Was there anything else?
Hey, where are we anyway? What is this place?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know.
She looks up at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of coal black soot here and there.
But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. You should ask her about the curse.
Creative.
Lieutenant looks around the spacious room, its ceiling fading into the shadows above.
When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere else. She must have known the other businesses.
I've heard this place is cursed. Did you know that people call it the doomed commercial area?
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
Wait, how do you explain what happened to all those companies then?
It's just capitalism. We only hear about tales of success, so it's often surprising to realize how many ventures actually fail.
Plaisance is the one who sent me. She's convinced that the place is swarming with malicious energies.
Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow?
Actually, the bookstore isn't doing that well. There are hardly any customers, and she has to exploit her own daughter to keep the company going.
Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
No, the whirling isn't doing well either. Its waitress just took off, and customers have trouble paying bills.
And then there is me. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
Plaisance thinks it's because you're the source of it, a malignant entity.
Malignant entity? What does that even mean? Some kind of sorceress? What about you, officer? Do you think I'm the malignant entity?
Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest.
I think it still might be you that's causing this. Narrow your eyes very mysteriously.
So I'm the grand dragon in the cave. Might I ask what supports this claim?
I yelled to summon the ghosts of the doomed commercial area, and you were the one who answered.
Oh my, I've revealed myself. You better call the exorcists.
I don't have to call anyone. I'm a ghost whisperer myself.
Of course. How convenient. Well, if you ever find a way to explain all those inconsistencies in the curse, then let me know.
Plaisance needs to hear about this. Perhaps if you combine your psychic energies, you will make sense of the situation.
Do you know what happened to other tenants? Everyone else is gone.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
There used to be a hair salon here, right?
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
It's not about the haircut, it's about the confidence.
What's wrong with a bit of experimenting? The customers should have been more open-minded.
I guess it just wasn't the time yet.
What happened to the gym?
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club. A community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
And who was Artemitep?
A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back.
Maybe that's what Kuno needs, a community-centric boxing club.
Kuno. Who's Kuno?
He's the little ginger gremlin who likes to defile dead bodies.
Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth. Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid.
Judging from the kids I've met so far, it didn't really work, did it?
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines. Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
What's up with the broken windows?
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milias. Who would have guessed?
Yikes.
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
Cool. Very cool about the debris. But what's a snuff milieu?
It's a sub-rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
Yeah, it's exactly what I thought it would be.
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-roses. This isn't our problem.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators.
Did someone here make stuffed animals? I saw mounts lying around.
You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs. Anything else?
I found creepy mannequins.
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came.
Hold on, insect rights activists? What in the name of...
The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket.
Yeah,
And,
that'll be real.
naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
Glad that someone took care of the little guys. I like insects. Nod.
Really? Anyway,
Poor guy. Suddenly, you get a feeling that insects are important to the case somehow. It's hard to say why.
What's with the rotor blades and skis?
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
Interesting. What do these transmissions say?
The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Men like that are a curse.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
Can't imagine.
Maybe you could make a sword out of one. No, wait, forget it. It would take too long.
Found a strange machine.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She liked them.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
What do you mean liberal? What happens?
The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
What went wrong?
Well, I did hear them talking at times. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
From what I've seen so far, the product did look quite impressive.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic and to show up to work on time.
Well, showing up to work on time is incredibly hard.
And so is producing something extraordinary.
Something strains her face before she looks up again.
Anything else?
There was a terrifying taxidermied bear in the cellar.
Oh boy, the fabled revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here. The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Alright, what about the other ideas?
There was really just one. And it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth.
Oh?
And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
Sounds like she really didn't like those girls. Fritta does the same thing.
I know a girl just like that. She works in Freet as a cashier and she's not particularly friendly.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Ravachol ICT. And they already had the bear.
What about the bear?
The bear.
It didn't work out.
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Ravachol ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
The bear was scary. Every time I saw that bear, I felt scared, like it could become alive any moment now.
The taxidermist who made it said it was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. He called it Megatherion.
Megatherian.
Why is everyone doing drugs in this place? Even the taxidermist?
Megatherian?
Megatherian, a mega wild beast.
What's a mega wild beast?
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life by telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
The horrific necktie tightens around your neck, strangely excited. But it doesn't feel particularly fun this time around.
Not now, you beast.
What?
Do you ever feel like your vision beast is trying to blackmail the fun out of you?
No, officer. I don't have a vision beast. Normal people don't have vision beasts. Only drug-addled madmen like the taxidermists do.
What about horrific neckties? Do normal people have horrific neckties?
Neckties? I guess they do sometimes, officer. But I don't understand how it's relevant to our discussion. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire. Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
Right. Let's go back to the bookstore lady and tell her what's going on here.
What have you found?
Shine a
And
flashlight
also,
right in her
if you
face.
do buy the books, there may be teachings in them.
I talked to the entity you told me about. Her name is Niha, and she's a novelty dice maker.
A novelty dice maker? Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep.
No, ma'am, I have felt her aura. She is not the one to blame for this curse.
I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse?
She's squeezing on the pendant too tight. A drop of blood in her palm. Just don't say you don't have any answer yet. The uncertainty is killing her. You've come this far. You know how to end it. There is an entity behind the entity.
There's another entity, more malignant, pulling the strings in Martinet. Perhaps in my travels I will cross paths with it.
A third order presence, yes.
A great dark relief washes over her.
I've heard of these triactors. In certain occult literature, that's too dark to dwell on for too long, and definitely not in public. I understand everything, sir. Thank you for your descending into the maelstrom. I will keep fort up here, strengthen the wards, do my best. And if you happen upon the third entity in your travels, may the Lord be with you.
Well, this has been absolutely educational. If we happen on the third presence in our travels, we will certainly come back to tell you.
Yes, the venture continues. In other waters, darker waters.
Should we get out of here before the vortex collapses?
Farewell for now, book peddler. let's talk to you quick.
The lights are so pretty when it gets dark.
Hopefully put points into composure here.
The lights are so pretty when it gets
Try to
dark.
deduce something.
The girl keeps her hands folded, hidden. Why is that?
Hey, why do you keep your hands folded?
What do you mean, sir?
She knows where this is going.
You don't need to be worried. I'm here to help.
She looks around anxiously. Her hands remain folded in front of her. She doesn't want to show them. The lieutenant stands by, looking at the two of you with little interest. A facade of true professionalism. He is far more intrigued by the situation than his poise reveals.
It's okay.
She brings out her reddened hands, her nails frayed, nearly chewed down to the flesh.
You bite your nails.
And you knew this from me keeping my hands folded?
There were a few other hints.
Well, that proves nothing. Anyone could do an easy deduction like that.
She actually is impressed. This is more like a defensive reflex.
Want more? But I can figure out why you bite your nails. I've got a few reasons in mind.
She nods, half provocative, half enthusiastic.
You are uptight because of your mother and the pressure she's putting on you.
Maybe so, sir. Okay, I know it's a bad habit, and I shouldn't.
Either way, another ace deduction by the #1 detective in town.
It was okay, sir.
There's more that can be achieved here. Ask her to do the same.
You think so? Fine, do better. To do something about me.
You're quite sober.
The lieutenant does not flinch at the comment. He does not flinch even a single bit. He is intensely not flinching. It takes effort.
Wait, how do you know I'm usually not?
Because you usually aren't.
I am also sad and my head hurts.
I'm sorry, sir. I hope things get better soon.
There she stands, swaying on her feet, assaulted by the early spring breeze. She smiles at you. The whole situation suddenly feels familiar, somehow.
What are you missing here? Why does this feel familiar?
Because you know each other. She's been talking to you so openly because you've talked before.
Hang on, so you know me? We've met before?
Yes, I stand in this spot all the time. You've been running around all week without your shirt on, sir, telling people about being a star or something. I don't really understand who those stars are.
Did I ever talk to you?
Of course, you've stopped by a few times. You certainly look better than the last time I saw you.
Thanks, I'm trying.
Yeah, I can see. You don't have party eyes anymore.
Party eyes. Yes, of course. That makes sense.
Party eyes. No, that's a euphemism.
I'm not surprised children have seen you running around with party eyes on, he thinks. Not at all.
Party eyes.
You know, like a cat in the dark, all big and wide-eyed. It certainly looks odd on a man.
The swiveling eyes of a loony drug addict. That is what she meant. You were probably gurning too. Fuck yeah. You should get some party eyes right now. Snap those sequins on you, boy.
Does that mean I've been partaking in narcotics?
Oh, baby, that's not what you have to worry about. Worry about the important thing.
So, why didn't you tell me you knew me to begin with?
I didn't know I had to do that.
Don't really like this detective deduction game anymore.
I guess we can change the subject, sir. I didn't mean to bring you down.
Okay, bye. I want to talk to her mom about this.
again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
All the pressure has made Annette really anxious. You know she's been chewing her nails?
God, I've told her not to do that. It's disgusting. And I told you to mind your own business. Clearly, you have no idea how hard it is to raise a girl in this economy.
This economy is a mysterious force, like cosmic weather, mysterious and harsh.
I don't think she can do anything about it.
She can, if she has enough willpower. This is what's called growing pains. Life isn't easy. Life doesn't give breaks.
Come on, ma'am. It's obvious she can't do anything about it. You are placing an unnecessary burden on a young child.
What you're doing is wrong. Even I know that, and I usually don't know anything.
She stands stiff and severe, silently fuming. 10 or so seconds pass without change. This is a person coming to terms with a new reality, one where they are wrong. It's not easy.
Oh no. Hold on. I need to invite her inside and apologize. She must be freezing out there. There. I don't know what to say to you. My husband, he tries to teach me business lessons. I have what my mother called a dull mind. All this stress.
It sounds like both the husband and the mother treat her the way she treats Annette.
You're like Annette to your husband and your mother.
Oh, well, my mother was horrible, of course. Absolutely perverse energies around that person. But my husband...
My husband is completely different, of course.
Is this husband Annette's father?
Yes, my husband is a successful entrepreneur east of the river. If only he were more involved in the business we're running up here. No matter. Soon we'll both be off for Grand Couronne.
Wait, Grand Couronne? What's that?
It's a proper place to live. One of the most peaceful neighbourhoods east of Jamrock. You may know it for its massive housing projects.
Massive housing projects?
Most of the buildings are empty at the moment. It's a great opportunity to get ahead of the crowds. Better times ahead for sure.
And your husband's also involved with the bookstore?
He made the initial investment. Since then, he's been what you might call a silent partner.
Is she an only child?
Yes, I'm afraid so. A real treat she is. It would be nice if she had... No, we couldn't have afforded more children, really. Not in this economy.
A glimmer of sadness
Not
glints
in this
through
economy.
her crafted exterior.
Why not?
We're quite busy people, you know, my husband and I. Quite busy. Children are a lot of work. You don't look like a father, so I don't expect you to understand. I'm sorry. I'm sure you do understand.
She told me she doesn't go to school anymore.
She's been too busy helping me here. So she studied at home this trimester. This is a temporary solution, of course. I assure you, I of all people understand the importance of education. She will be back in school the moment the store takes off.
Alright.
The woman looks aloof. Her
Farewell for now.
features more subtle.
Okay. You feeling warmer there?
I'm sorry, sir. I can't talk right now. I'm very busy with my homework. I have so much homework now.
You just can't win. Out of the rain and into the gutter.
What are you doing now?
Math. It's really difficult. Like, really. They say you need it to get rich. Better than standing outside in the cold, I guess. Oh, I found something while you were away.
What is it?
I thought this would fit you. Like, thanks for helping out. Not me. The city, I mean. Like a detective does.
Wait, where did you get it?
Just what Dick Mullen would ask. I got it from behind the curtains. I'm not really supposed to go there.
Okay, I get it. I can look just like Dick Mullen, except I'm an actual police officer.
Yes, I bet it looks good on you. Really serious. Right, I have to get back to my homework now, before Mum notices. Man, this is hard.
Okay, see you around, Tenet. We gotta put that on. Oh yeah, we're a real detective now. Get that on. We need a nice shirt for this too. That's not bad. I still like that. Get the dress shirt on. Okay. Now I look more the part. Ooh, one thing I wanted to do. I wanted to interact with that Dick Mullen book.
In your hand, you hold Dick Mullen and the mistaken identity. The brittle paperback feels fragile to the touch.
Examine the cover.
The cover features a pastiche of different scenes. In the foreground, a man in a dark overcoat clutches a pistol to his chest. Rising up behind him are two silhouettes wrapped in a passionate embrace. The tagline reads, Detective Dick Mullen must prove his innocence after an old friend is murdered by someone who looks just like Dick Mullen. That seems to sum up the premise nicely. Needless to say, it violates nearly every RCM regulation for a detective to investigate a murder in which he is a suspect.
Are you really reading that, detective?
I really need to know who this Dick Mullen guy is.
Good luck finding it. He's not much of a character, I think you'll find. Just a stand-in for the reader.
Start reading.
The story opens with a knock at the door. Detective Dick Mullen is greeted by an old friend, Charlie Spillane, who's come to Mullen to ask a favor on this dark and cold night. Spillane needs Mullen to drive him in from Vespa to a small town along the Elysium coast. Despite his friend's apparent agitation, Mullen does as he's asked, then returns home where he passes out drunk, as he does most nights. An extremely unprofessional and hurtful stereotype that's offensive to all upstanding officers of the law.
Look, I can't judge.
2 days later, Mullen is arrested by the Vespa police and charged with the murder of Charlie Spillane. At his interrogation, Mullen learns that Charlie Spillane was shot in a bar in the very town Mullen dropped him off in by a man matching Mullen's description.
Looks like we got a mystery on our hands, gang.
Desperate to clear his name, Mullen manages to convince the Vespa police to release him for 3 days so that Mullen may solve his friend's murder and prove his innocence.
The cops release their prime murder suspect so he can find the real killer? Are you shitting me?
What's the matter, detective?
I don't know who's writing this shit, but I get the feeling they aren't experts on homicide investigations.
The lieutenant shrugs, resigned to the idea that his profession will rarely, if ever, be accurately represented in art and literature. They're not shitting you, detective. This is what the writers think passes for police procedure.
Okay, so Mullen didn't do it.
Of course, Mullen didn't do it. That's the whole premise of the book. Anyway, Mullen returns to the seaside bar where Spillane was murdered and meets a beautiful, mysterious woman named Diana Denerva.
Nice, a dame.
And not just any dame. She's truly one in a million, a knockout whose mind is as dangerous as her curves. But she's got a secret.
Man, who doesn't?
Secrets are the currency of human relations. Your secrets are unknown even unto you. So does that make you a rich man or a beggar?
Oh, that's a thought. Now it's getting interesting.
Deneuve reveals that she was Spillane's lover, and that he was mixed up with a local amphetamine smuggling operation. As soon as Mullin begins pulling at strings, the whole conspiracy begins to unravel. Not only is the local police captain in on the amphetamine ring, so is the son of a powerful politician and a strung-out art collector named Torvald, each of whom has his own reasons for wanting Spillane dead.
Tell me about the corrupt police captain.
Outwardly, the old police captain is a real law and order crypto-fascist, a barrel-chested man who's beaten his share of suspects to pulp. But he's also dirty and increasingly paranoid that someone's going to expose his role in the drug ring. He would certainly have the motive and the means, but the captain walks with a noticeable limp from an old war injury. Is it possible that he was able to conceal it long enough to commit the murder?
I want to hear about the politician's son.
A typical privileged twat. In all likelihood, he's just in over his head. He does bear a personal grudge against Spillane, though, a former prosecutor who nearly brought down his father's administration. The kid doesn't exactly have Dick Mullen's manly build, but he is the correct height, and while interrogating him at his home, Mullin did notice a certain overcoat that looks suspiciously like his own.
What was that about, an art collector?
Torvald, the art collector, is a strung-out mess. Frankly, it's hard to imagine him holding a pistol steady enough to actually hit someone, let alone plug them 3 times in the chest the way Spillane got did. That said, Torvald and Spillane have a long history, and while interrogating him, Mullin discovers that Torvald was once involved with Deanna Deneuve. Could it be that this is all over a sordid love triangle?
Okay, what's going on with the story?
One evening, Deanna Deneuve comes to Mullin's hostel room in tears. The two of them drink half a bottle of vodka, and soon they're seeking comfort in each other's arms.
As one does?
Well, that testimony won't be admissible any longer.
How does Mullen expect to solve the murder if he's sleeping with witnesses? Gee golly
The man's
whiz.
a prosecutor's nightmare. Solving a murder counts for nothing if all the evidence gets thrown out in court over police misconduct. That's just Dick Mullen's modus operandi. He might bend the rules, but he closes cases like no one else can.
I'm not sure I'm happy with this, but maybe the story will turn it around.
As the two lovers share a post-coital cigarette, Deanna Deneuve turns to Mullin and says, "By the way, Dick, there was something else I meant to tell you.
Oh?
I love you. Always aim for the center of mass." Whatever it is, Mullin never hears the words. A blow to the base of his skull knocks him out cold instantly.
Fuck.
When Mullin comes to, Deneuve is dead on the hostel bed next to him. To make matters worse, his clothes are covered with her blood.
Double fuck.
Mullin trashes his blood-stained clothes and flees the hostel, knowing it's only a matter of hours before the cops discover Deneuve's body, if they haven't been tipped off already.
Damn.
Fleeing a crime scene, destroying evidence. Even if Detective Mullin didn't commit the murder, he should be facing years behind bars. Dick Mullin won't be sent to the clink for the sake of some legal niceties. The heat is on. If Dick Mullin can't solve both murders before the cops catch up to him, he's going away for life. Can you solve the case before the cops close in?
Wait, I got some questions first.
What is it, Detective?
Why does everyone close to Dick Mullen wind up dead?
It's a dangerous line of work, but somebody has to do it. That's why Dick Mullin never lets anyone get too close.
Why did Dick Mullen become a detective in the first place?
There was never a time when he wasn't a detective. He was born a detective.
Was I not born to be a detective?
For a moment, you cease to read the story on the page and see the book for what it is. collection of brittle, cheaply printed pages held together by glue made from the hooves of horses. You won't find the answers you're looking for here, in other words.
Why bother solving crimes when the world is so evil?
Is it really so evil, detective?
Okay, maybe not. There are parts worth saving.
Like what?
Friends and family.
Do you even have those?
I've got Kim.
Just make sure you don't lose him. You'll not find another like him. It's true in more ways than you know. But then, what does this book know? It's just a poorly made piece of pulp garbage made to be consumed and discarded.
I don't have any more questions. I've figured it all out.
So, who did it, detective? Who killed Charlie Spillane and Deanna Deneuve?
Love did them in.
What? That doesn't even make sense. There's never a straight answer with you, is there? You just get hooked on random stupid notions and then repeat them every chance you get. Now go on. Find out who really did it.
Finish the book.
You begin furiously flipping through pages. Even as you know these books follow a series of well-worn tropes, you find yourself completely engrossed. You're turning pages so fast, you don't even notice the ancient spine coming unglued. You try to grab the pages as they come loose, but your fingers aren't quick enough. They're gone. Dozens of pages scatter across the floor. The last fifth or so of the book seems to have been lost. It's possible that you could gather and reassemble the pages, but it would take way too long.
Now we'll never know.
Too bad, detective. If it's any consolation, the resolution is almost never very satisfying. And on that note, perhaps we should get back to making sense of our own case?
In your hand, you hold 4/5 of Dick Mullen and the mistaken identity.
4/5. Alright, put it away. Dang. Primer for small kids.
You hold in your hand the colorful primer. The title reads, A Primer for Small Kids. There's a bear involved.
Exactly what I need.
This book will show you the score, get you oriented with those basic concepts you appear to be hazy on. The anthropomorphic bear will give you the lowdown of your life.
On what?
The alphabet.
The
Every page has one word designating one letter of the alphabet with a faded illustration. Most of them are scientific and cultural principles. It goes as follows.
Okay, let's do this.
A is for azimuth. B is for Boreas. C is for cosine. D is for diamite. E is for ellipse. F is for phlogiston. G is for gamete. H is for homeboy. I is for econ. J is for Eura. K is for collapse. L is for laudanum. M is for myriad. N is for nadir. O is for aureole. P is for perihelion.
Yes, this would be very useful for a child. Yes, yes. Yeah.
Q is for quasar. R is for rhododendron. S is for sinus. T is for tricolor. U is for ultra. V is for vector. W is for Wahrheit. X is for xylophone.
Oh, come on. What a
Y
cop
is for
out.
Ustava.
Z is for xylophone. Are you
It's for
fucking
Zen.
serious? That's it?
That's it. You know the alphabet now.
Kim, I know the alphabet now.
Good. I also know the alphabet.
It is a very useful skill to have, he thinks, for all sorts of life activities like reading.
Alright,
And
put it away. What of these haven't we interacted with? There's some dried mayballs.
6 crumbling petals rest on your palm. They're white, a bell-shaped crown.
What is this, Kim?
This is the Insulindian lily, called Maybells or Lucille's tears during the Revolution. Girls used to pin these on soldiers before sending them off to battle.
Who pins them? Which side?
The revolutionaries, so the communards and the anarchists. White's their color, but the custom started in the suzerain's army, so it held meaning for the kingsmen too.
Hmm.
It's about girls and boys more than sides. Girls sending off boys who are going to their deaths, then also dying themselves in the ruins from dysentery and consumption. It's a symbol of the Civil War.
Does this flower blossom in early spring?
Yes, but not this early. Not to my knowledge. It looks dried, preserved.
Is it a coincidence, it being on the roof?
Maybe. Maybe not. We'll see.
Very well.
The petals feel dry and fragile in your hand. Wait, have you noticed there's a war veteran playing a ball game on the plaza? You should ask him.
Oh. Now there's something that might lead somewhere interesting. Ah, there's a white envelope.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40 month construction period.
Ooh, there's
and
a
the
logic
zoning plan
check.
in the addendum. Underneath all this, Lillian's signature and an empty line waiting for a signee.
Look at the
youth
plan.
center cuts into the ocean like the bow of some great modern ship. Apparently, it's going to cover most, if not all, of the street and the square between the existing houses. It's 3 stories tall. It's going to be awfully close to the already existing buildings, almost wall to wall, practically integrating them into the youth center. This is either an ominous or cool architectural choice. Hard to say.
Kim, what do you think of this?
I'm no property lawyer, but it looks fine. I like the print size. They're not selling or leasing anything. It's not a perfect solution, but...
Let's try to stock up on logic equipment. Let's see if we can pass this check here. All right, we're all pumped up here.
You
Let's
take
give
the legal
this
documents out of the
try.
envelope.
Ooh, very
12
high.
to 40 month construction period and the zoning plan. There is no loophole. The simple truth is the current residents are going to lose their street access, and for the next 12 to 40 months, their lives will be dominated by constant construction noise right next door.
Wait, what are the ramifications of this?
Once the construction starts, it will probably take a few months, a year maybe, for even the most stubborn occupants to get tired of living like this. After that, they'll sell their property for cheap and move out.
Look, Kim, these people are going to have to move away because of the noise.
Of course, I should have seen it. Evrard probably has eyes on us, but if the second signature were to be somehow wrong...
He won't say it outright, but he's suggesting forgery.
You're suggesting...
Forgery, yes. It would render the document invalid.
Oh yeah, let's do this. Let's do some
It's not the
crime.
sort of act I would normally encourage, but under the circumstances, if done discreetly, it may be the only way to save what's left of the village.
Or you could try to trick Everard. Get someone random to sign the document. By the time the union boss finds out, your business here will already be concluded.
Okay. We're not gonna be able to do that here, I don't think. "16 days of coldest April."
In your hands, you hold 16 Days of Coldest April by Yekaterina Dahl. The cover image shows a row of concrete apartments above which span a black and white rainbow.
Feels heavy.
Indeed, the book is unusually heavy in your hands, as though the cover were lined with lead. It would do that in Grad.
How long is this book anyway?
You flip through the book. The pages are thinner than you realized, and the type quite small and tightly set. It's nearly 600 pages long.
Look at the back cover.
The back cover is dominated by a black and white photograph of the author.
What does she look like?
She can't be much older than her mid-30s in this photograph, and yet, from this cover, the eyes of a sad old woman stare back at you.
Start reading.
In cold, detached prose, the author describes a scene from one of the Yugograd riots in the 20s. Youths overturn motor carriages and set trash cans ablaze, while heavily armored guardsmen dash in and disperse them in a flurry of baton blows. As ethnic tensions run wild, a pair of young lovers meet each other on the street. Somehow, in the middle of all the chaos, they manage to lock arms and look into each other's eyes.
What happens next?
It would physically hurt you to keep reading. Are you sure?
Read 10 more pages.
They go through a brief and
They
somewhat
weren't
awkward
kidding.
love affair, and in the end, they betray each other and succumb to the absurdity of Gradian life. The man becomes a lens grinder, completely abandoning his former existence. He toils through the daily drudgery at the Lenka Polyfabricate. Happiness and fulfillment have eluded him his whole life. And, in the end, he has nothing to do but dedicate himself to the craft.
And the woman?
She spends the next several decades standing at a conveyor in a Sosnovo fish processing plant. The smell of fish guts slowly seeps into her hair and skin, as every single one of her dreams dies, one by one. The memory of their short time spent together tortures the former lovers ceaselessly until the end of their days. Years pass in solitude, their bodies growing ever more decrepit.
This is terrible.
As life leaves their remains between the soil sheets, their final thoughts are filled with regret.
That's just depressing. Jeez. Okay. I want to go down to the whirling quick. Hello,
Can I help
guys.
you?
Good, I found a new bird for the whirling.
What is this thing?
It's no biggie, I just thought it would look nice on the wall. I'm that kind of cop.
What, the interior decorating kind? You know, I'm sorry. This is actually a nice bird. A competent piece of taxidermy. I can fix it to the plaque and have a new bird in the establishment, I guess. So, I don't know. Thank you. I'm gonna go with thank you.
People just don't know how to accept gifts, especially taxidermy. He likes it.
I feel good about our work here today. It's all about the little things, like bringing people random stuffed animals.
Alright, so I need to sing karaoke now.
No, you don't. It's not happening.
He tries not to look at you. It's dangerous to acknowledge the karaoke man.
Yeah, but Johnny Law is about to tear it up sad style.
The whirling doesn't need more sad style. That's one of the styles it can do without right now.
Why'd you even have the PA system if no one's gonna use it?
It's for no one. It's a prop. I'm not letting anyone use it after the great karaoke catastrophe of 44.
What happened in 44?
A lot of people got killed because some arsehole wanted to sing karaoke.
It's not a prop, it's for your clients. I know it's used.
Okay, yes, it's for some clients.
I'm real clients. I've paid my bills and I have the right to use the karaoke machine.
Ha! Well, we don't have any tapes. They all got stolen.
It's alright, I have my own song with me. Give him the tape for smallest church in Sinsane.
The man in the vest and the violet shirt stares at the tape you've just given him. He begins to frown. Hard. This is the look of a man who's defeated. He knows he's out of excuses.
Fine, fine. Climb on that stage and do your thing. Just get out of my hair.
Alright.
Plug it in for you. Damn this karaoke machine.
I'm having it uninstalled, he mumbles to himself. Oh yeah, time to do the damage.
Alright. Now we can interact with this. So let's get on some appropriate clothes for this. Suit looks fine, I think. Get Dick Nolan's hat on. Get these shoes on. Oh yeah, there we go. Now we're ready to tear it up sad style.
The stage is all set up for your performance. Feels silent. You can hear the pellets creak under your feet. You feel a little dizzy, a little unsteady suddenly.
So, are you ready for your thing now? Let me know when I should turn on the karaoke carousel.
Look, Kim, I'm gonna sing karaoke.
I can see that.
Put your lips against the mic, test it.
Immediately, a loud feedback noise startles the room. You feel like an amateur. How are you supposed to hold the mic? Should you just sing into it? Where should you stand? Hands. Where do you put your hands?
Look around the room first.
The bar is full and buzzing with chatter. No one is paying you any attention.
Oh no.
But still you feel your knees.
Are we gonna
turn
get
to
more
knees.
nervous from
Okay,
this?
now a couple is looking at you. Even worse, they are going to hate you. Just make sure you move, okay? Don't be stiff.
Okay. I need to see if I have anything that's gonna help with my drama. That'll help. Okay, I think we've got everything that could be useful on. Let's make sure there's nothing lowering it. Nope. Maybe get some more normal gloves on.
The stage is all set up for your performance. You feel a little...
So, are you ready for your thing now?
The stage is all... You feel a little dizzy.
So, are you ready for your thing now? Let me know when I should turn on the karaoke carousel.
Let's increase that. And do a quick save. I do kind of want to see what happens if you succeed this. Like, this is gonna be the one thing I might cheat.
Set up for your performance. Feels
and save
silent.
scum.
You can hear the pellets creak under your feet. You feel a little dizzy, a little...
So, are you ready for your
Alright,
thing
well,
now? Let me know when I should turn on the karaoke carousel.
It's even odds now, might as well give it a shot.
The air
Oh,
is
hey,
thick
success.
with anticipation. Someone dims the lights as the music starts. Okay, here we go.
Let's tear it up sad style.
I would often go there, to the tiny church there. The smallest church in San. Though it once was larger. How the real may rest there. Down through the mist there. Toward the Seven Sisters. Toward those pale cliffs there. I would often stay there. In that tiny yard there. I have been so glad here. Looking forward to the past here. But now, you are all alone. None of this matters. No, none of this matters at all.
Yay.
A lazy applause fills the room. You feel your hands shake as awareness of your body returns to you.
Thank you, ancient reptilian brain.
This guy really carried you.
I'd like to dedicate this song to my partner, Kim Kisaragi.
The lieutenant doesn't say anything, but gives you a quick smile before turning away. He's incapable of blushing, but if he weren't, he'd blush.
Good, good. Are we ready? I want to unplug the microphone now.
Last words?
Whip out your finger pistols. Evening will come. We will sow the white sail. Workers of the world unite. Alright, that was worth it. But it's pretty late, so I think we're gonna head to our little house on the shore. Cross over. Alright, here we go.
It's getting late and it's snowing. Time to call it a day.
Good night, Kim.
Good night, officer. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning.
Let's enter the shack. Let's see if we can mess with
You
this.
take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40 month construction period and the zoning plan.
Let's beef up our interfacing. A lot. And get some gear that'll help too. Put that back on for one. Okay, I think that's all that's gonna help us there.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40 month construction period and the zoning
Okay.
plan in the addendum. Underneath all this, Lillian's signature and an empty line waiting for a signee.
Forgery.
With a confident flourish, you complete your forgery. What do you see on the signature line?
The name, Isabel Sadie.
Indeed. To be honest, it does look very convincing. The calligraphy is close to superb. It might as well be her actual signature.
Nice.
But it's not, and the document will be nullified if she disputes it. That means Everard will have to start over. All you need to do now is mail the signatures to Everard's accountant in La Delta.
Mm-hmm.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. 12 to 40 month construction period.
Okay, so that's all set.
On the table, you see a box. An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see your reflection in it. The expression fixed to your clean-shaven face. You're still not accustomed to it.
Let it be for now. Let's get some sleep.
The bed is comforting, if a bit run down. Across the room, the heating system hums its soft lullaby. The mattress feels soft and sheets warm. It only takes you moments for the world to fall away.
Thoughts, baby. A million little lights in the dark. You're one fine instrument, brother. All those faces and all those names. All that laughter and screaming and scheming around. Every corner and every street.
Recorded in you forever on Faraday.
Spinning in eternity.
On and on it goes, for untold hours. At the disco where you first asked her to dance. Rising, rising, above the dark curvature, the great wingspan of sleep, studded with stars.
Behold, there are millions of them down there. The first time, the last time. The smoke in her mouth, the plotted flowers, the faces turning, changing.
What is it?
It's the world, Harry boy, and you're made of it. Every day you're out there, you make more of yourself from it. I'm afraid you can't be unmade now. You can never forget this shit.
The rain, the snow. I don't want to. It's beautiful.
Beautiful. It's stuck on loop, whirling, spitting out words and images.
You're the son of the world again. Harrister, a ceaseless agent. Picking up litter and old newspapers, collecting your little bubblegum wrappers and idiotic picture postcards. Meaningless, meaningless keepsakes.
Reading your awful letters and recalling things, aren't you? The endless names of the world. An address book you are. The map of a city.
That's right. I am an agent of the world.
You'll go insane if you keep going like this. One more day, and you'll be in the loony bin. I just know you will. And for what, brother man?
For the working class.
Solving your little crossword puzzles. Doing your tasks. Crossing names off lists. Trying to become some sort of world detector. It won't make it okay. It won't put smoke back in her mouth.
I'm building communism for all. This time we won't fail. There he goes again. He's a real political animal, our Harry. He still doesn't see that it's the world that's changing him.
He's got no idea what he's in for.
Why?
'Cause only love can break your heart.
Feel the pillow under your cheek.
Beep, beep, beep. The alarm is ringing, Harry. The disco circus goes on and on. You barely slept 3 hours last night.
Open your eyes. Here comes the
Rise
thought.
and shine, comrade. It's time to get to work.
What's going on?
Despite all the thinking you've been doing, only 0.0001% of communism has been built. It's too great a task to undertake alone. You're going to have to get organized.
I'm ready. Let's get to it.
You must seek out your revolutionary brothers and sisters. Find out how much communism they've built. Then, together, maybe you'll be able to build as much as 0.0002% of communism. But it won't be easy. Decades of persecution by coalition authorities have driven the remaining communists of Martinaise underground. They live underground. These communists aren't men. They're mole people.
But I'm part of the coalition authorities. Have I been persecuting communists this whole time?
Possibly. If you have been, it's only because you're a double agent acting in furtherance of your long-term objectives. Regardless, what's past is past. You need to look forward to the work of building communism for all.
I don't know if I want to go searching for mole people.
They're not mole people. They're your comrades in the eternal class struggle. It's your task to find and join them.
Will they help me fire up Mazov's socialist sausage grinder?
Just between us, you may want to lay off this grind up the bourgeoisie stuff. It's a bit off-putting, even to fellow communists.
How am I supposed to find them if they're hiding?
Let your nose guide you, detective.
My nose?
Yes. Fortunately, communists are known to have a very distinct smell. We really have no idea what they're talking about. There's no linkage between ideology and olfaction.
What does communism smell like?
Failure.
Okay, but what does failure smell like?
It's a smell you know all too well. Simultaneously repulsive and yet darkly appealing. Musty with a sharp tang, but also a remnant of lost sweetness. Like a rotting mango that's been swaddled in a coat from your grandfather's attic. What you're smelling is your own body odor, of course. Nothing a shower and change of clothes couldn't fix. People sometimes complain there are no real communists left in Martinaise, but you can smell their presence. They're out there, waiting for you to join them.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's get organized.
First, you'll have to locate the remaining communists in Martinaise. When you get near to someone with revolutionary potential, your nose will give you the signal to establish contact. Again, no, it won't. Any olfactory response you perceive will be strictly psychosomatic. You should begin by interrogating those lawless malcontents at the Dock Workers Union. They're an obvious place to start.
Hang on, what will I do once I establish contact with my fellow communists?
You'll discuss the monumental world historical task that lies before you. You'll engage in rigorous and spirited debates about Mazovian theory and practice. But mostly, you'll probably complain about other communists.
Isn't that last part kind of counterproductive?
Not at all. Complaining about other communists is one of the most important parts of being a communist.
Print screening that. Alright, let's get to it.
Here we go. Wake, brave worker. 'Tis no time for bed. Fight till there's no slaves below, and no masters o'erhead.
Alright. Time to greet the new day. We're on day 4. Good morning, Kim. Okay, let's see. We want to get ourselves organized. Get the ice cream maker open. Okay, we've got a couple of tasks we can do. I'm gonna go back into town quick. Because I think most of the things we want to do will be around there. Okay, pawn shop guy, can you help me with this tape
Top
here?
of the morning to you. How may I be of service?
Early bird gets the worm, huh?
Perhaps. I just like being awake for the transition between night and morning, bearing witness to the first hints of light on the horizon.
Hey, do you know how to fix this magnetic
You
tape?
mean re-spool it? Yeah, I do, but
Great, could you do it please? This is important. I need to be able to play this tape for someone.
I'm not some Mr. Fix-It. I'm a pawnbroker. If you want to pawn the tape, sure. Although it looks pretty worthless.
Just explain why you need this so much. He's bound to understand.
Worthless? It's not worthless, Roy. This could be the next big thing for the local dance music scene.
Huh? What do you mean?
Do you know that old church down the coast?
Yes. What about it?
I met some young ravers near the place. They want to turn the church into a nightclub and play some weird neo-disco beats there. They call it hypnotic dance music. I promised to help them with that.
Is it any good? The music, I mean.
No, that's the thing. You can't believe how unbelievably thin the beat is. There's nothing to it, no bass. It just goes bzoop, bzoop, bzoop. But this tape could make it hardcore.
Man, you're really invested in this. Okay, I'll help you out. It's going to take a moment, though, so just sit back and relax.
You take some time to look around the store. The play of visuals all around the pawn shop is mesmerizing. Suddenly, Roy turns back to you with a reel of tape in his hand and coughs.
Wait, this took more than just a few moments. That was at least 15 minutes.
Yeah, it was. Re-spooling isn't that difficult, although I had to mend the tape in a few places. Anyhow, it's yours now.
Well, thanks for the help.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'll do what I can for true passion projects. Just try not to use this tape for negative photon emissions. Take responsibility, okay?
Alright, thanks, dude. That's the tape fixed. Hmm. What are you guys up to?
That's one brutal motor carriage.
If I were a real skull now, I'd jack it, paint it in palm tree livery, then bottom light it, neon style.
A snazzy shit-ripped skullmobile like this would make a fine trophy. We could, like, hang fucking shrunken heads from the side mirrors. Cops' heads. Scary tribal shit.
Yeah, tribal shit. A cop carriage like this would have proper skull value.
While I appreciate the interest you take in my brutal motor carriage, I have to stop you right there. The RCM takes threats directed at its property seriously.
It's just theoretical work, Copper. No basis in reality. Man, if we were certified skulls right now...
Who are you?
I can tell you who we're not, cop. We're not snitches, flow bears, or skulls.
That's a great way to censor it.
To say that the skulls are bitches and... On the contrary.
The part of this presentation you want to take home with you, cop man, is we're not part of the skulls yet.
Who are the skulls?
You don't know? What kind of cop are you?
I'm so glad you
The
asked.
question was rhetorical. The skulls are the most vicious gang of the Besmertnay.
The nastiest bunch of psychos ever. Jacking carriages and getting into high-speed chases.
Possessing an infinite amount of fuck-all swagger, infamous for their non-verbal modus operandi.
Non-verbal?
If a skull spots you, he will pull out his dagger and stab you without saying a word.
The lieutenant's voice is as calm as usual, a testament to the violence and death he's witnessed through the sight of his firearm.
They usually occupy the burnt-out quarter in Jamrock, or you can find them loitering around their brightly painted bottom-lighted vehicles.
I can't wait to become a skull. Bottom lights are wretched aggressive.
Do you know anything about the murder that took place here?
Murder?
Man was hanged in the backyard of the Whirling in Rags.
Yeah, sure. We'll gladly tell you everything we know about it. It was a man.
Also, he was hanged.
Anything else?
He was hanged from a tree.
Yeah, I mean, duh.
These punks don't know anything. Let's just move along.
Hey, stop right there. How does one know anything?
What does that mean?
Fucking philosophy, man. You can do aggressive shit with philosophy. Justify shit.
Like murder, or wasting your life away.
Do you guys know Cindy the Skull?
Oh yeah, Cindy's a right proper skull.
Yeah, a true artist of the future. Just like Arno van Eyck.
By the way, if you see Cindy, give her our regards.
Odd. There isn't a hint of hate in them. It's like they're piss and fuck the world out of some kind of moral obligation. The lieutenant on your left is unusually lenient toward them.
I see you kids are into Nordic dance music.
Oh man, yeah. We're not fucking kids, man.
Be wary of the abyss.
Why?
Probably because of how non-verbal their mode of operation is going to be. It's a threat.
A threat? Good, I like those.
But I don't. In fact, I dislike them so much I'm willing to drag you boys back to the station just to calm myself down.
Hey, there's no need for that. We're just talking here. Joking, too. Stay light, man.
Yeah. Didn't you cops, like, have some questions about skulls or some shit?
Why aren't there more skulls in Martinez?
The Union does their share of policing in Martinez, at least where gangs are concerned. That's why there isn't much organized crime around here.
Apart from the unions themselves, of course.
Don't you worry about that. We're gonna make up for the deficit.
Yeah, we are.
Your rhetoric is confusing. Are you a part of the Skulls or not?
We're not franchise skulls. Well, not yet.
Franchise.
Once we get our name out there, we'll have a chance to join them.
And what makes you think that the organization would accept you?
Because we can be just as psycho and vicious. You'll see.
But in a non-threatening and definitely legal way.
We'll fuck the system from the inside later. Just be cool now. The damage will be tenfold.
Right on, fuck. So what's happening now?
Enough about this scullery then. What's with the jackets?
What about them?
Why does your jacket have pistol written on it?
Well, first off, it's a statement and not necessarily something that characterizes me as a person, even though the statement has character. And I do like piss. The word piss epitomizes the struggle taking place in the world. Things being defined as they seem, not as they are. And, I guess, it's also about communal spirit, the future, and truly appreciating our differences. Also, you've got to admit, it catches the eye. And since the Grand Piper is slowly but steadily moving towards basing the economy on it, attention, it is imperative that the medium itself convey the message.
Makes sense.
What I mean by this is, we are all piss and that the world is inherently meaningless.
Why do you have "fuck the world" written on your jacket?
Like I said before, many men keep searching for the one, for so-called true love, which is actually just obsession masquerading as kinship. The thrill of the chase, the hollowness that fills your chest cavity after catching it. To catch a fish, you'll need to hurl the lure many times, and even then it isn't certain that you'll get anything. If you blow up the lake, though,
Blow it up.
you get more fish in a shorter time. And, for time is of the essence and fleeting ever so quickly, one must think of a way to fuck the whole world and not get caught up in fucking someone. Because when one fucks everything, he fucks nothing. And that, to me, feels glorious. Sticking your dick into the void.
Is it a coincidence that here we have 2 badass jackets and 2 badass cops?
Hey, Kim.
Yes?
You think it's a coincidence?
What is?
There are 2 of us in 2 of these jackets.
What are you implying?
Which one would you wear?
I'm not sure I understand you, detective.
Are you more of a Facebook guy or a fuck the world kind of guy?
Neither.
Come on, Kim. It's just a mental exercise.
Fine, if only to end this discussion. Theoretically, if I were a juvenile delinquent, if I were to already be down that path, I think peace is the stronger of the 2 statements.
No way. If anything, I'm the piss in this scenario.
Fine. Fuck the world just seemed to fit you more, considering your heroic exit attempts.
You always get to be the crazy one, right? Fine then.
So are we done here? Or you don't need us around for your secret whisper party, do you?
Oh, we gotta try this. If it's a red check. If we fail it, we don't get to try it again. Let's stock up on things that'll up half-light, because I do want to try this. It's minus half-light. have anything that lowers it on. No. Alright. Gonna give it a shot.
That ride is fuck.
Hey, piss. Look who it is. Shrunken
Even
cockhead
odds.
material.
No.
Success.
Don't ask anything. Be subtle and scary. The boys dream about being skulls. Use that.
Wait, how?
Suggest their massive skulls. Come on.
Boys with those jackets, you're gonna be the Skull Kings in no time.
What? No. Skulls don't have kings. I think. And we're not even in yet.
Yeah, man, keep your voice down. Skulls don't take it lightly when folks pretend to be them. We're not even prospects yet.
Not even prospects and already aspiring to be kings?
Wow, you boys are ambitious. Only prospects and already planning a coup in the skulls. You're destined to go far.
He gets it. Passive-aggressive flattery.
Shut the fuck up. Are you trying to get us killed?
Now bring it to the jackets and, yes, start shouting.
Yes, we want to be cool killer skulls too, just like you guys, but we don't have skull jackets.
Please be quiet. What? What do you want? The jackets?
You got it. No need for cruelty.
You offer us your jackets like that? It'd be impolite to refuse.
Oh, man. Okay. I get it. Skulls don't really wear slogans anyway. This was stupid.
Fuck.
Nice. We got the jackets.
The lieutenant watches the boys take their jackets off with mild amusement.
Remember when I said I'd like the pistol one? I got it. You can have the other one.
That's okay. I wouldn't wear either one anyway.
Why not? They're a pair. We could really raise hell. Go undercover hard.
This case doesn't require us to go undercover or raise hell. In fact, I don't think the jackets will be useful at all. I just wanted them to not have them anymore.
Cold-hearted cop.
Still, good to know we have a pair in case the need arises.
The need will not arise.
I don't know, Eric. It's cold out.
Oh.
Yeah, let's get out of here. The cops fucked us.
Well, we got him. Okay, that was worth it.
You finally made it, haven't you? People point fingers at you and whisper to each other when you pass by, wondering to themselves, where did that man get such a cool jacket? Did he receive it upon graduating the École Normale Supérieure de Badasserie? Is he dangerous?
Damn right I'm dangerous.
You are very dangerous, my friend. Dangerous and cool. In fact, no one dares to say a single thing about the jacket. But believe me, they are all very impressed.
Okay, that's great. Alright, what do I want to do? Oh, that's right. I want to go in here and see if the freezer will be any easier to get. Get our tool out.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting.
It's melting, but slowly. What if I turn off the beer
Only
too?
the red cable is an electric sizzle. The room is slightly quieter now. This orange machine is dead still.
Yeah, it doesn't really help you.
The beer's eyes are dead and empty. Ice inside the fridge slowly melting. The power has been cut.
Bye, beer. Okay, I guess we can't deal with this yet.
Wait, no. Something about this bunch doesn't smell right.
What do you mean? Aren't they Everards guys?
They are, but they don't seem too keen to talk with you, do they? No, they don't. Glenn seems to be contemplating grievous bodily harm while he massages his raw knuckles. In the far back, Eugene is doing his best to ignore you. And from his perch at the end of the table, Titus Hardy himself stares at you with a cold contempt that makes you want to leave the cafeteria straight away. Besides, you're pretty sure they consider themselves social democrats.
Alright, guess I'll look elsewhere then.
It's you again. What is it?
We don't have enough for that. Alright, these guys are both you.
Oh, sweetie, I don't even know how to thank you for finding my husband and helping him out. I hope we haven't been too much trouble for you.
I'm basically also a cryptozoologist now.
I knew it.
I'm not surprised. It's already getting out of hand.
Well, in that case, sweetie, let me give you a small token of my gratitude. It's a tie, Mesk in origin. The pin is an antique, quite special to the cryptozoological community.
The little silvery knob holding the tie together feels warm in your hand. It's in the shape of an avian skull with 8 eyes.
You never told me you've seen the Phasmid.
Oh, you don't want to hear about some old woman's ramblings.
Ramblings? Nonsense.
Your description of the phasmid is the most precise I've ever heard.
But, darling, I didn't even get the size of it right.
You were a child, my dear. Really. It's extraordinary what you were able to describe. Now go on. Tell our friend about it. He's proven his interest in the field.
That is a way bigger compliment than it sounds like. Reflexively, the lieutenant read his familiar notebook.
Well, it was summer. I was building a racing track out of sand on the beach near a tall stand of reeds. Quite a tall one. Many times my height, I remember. When, all of a sudden...
What happens?
I looked up, and one of the reeds moved. Not like a plant, but like a living thing. It stood up and looked at me. Its body unfolded like some antique toy. I'd never seen anything like it. The reeds turned into a creature. I didn't know this can happen, so I reached my arm and touched the thing. It felt just like a stalk of reed, but it moved, swaying, towering above me. After a while, 20 seconds, a minute maybe, it left, went into the reeds.
Oh, did you follow it?
I tried, but I was only a child. There was mud and high water. I couldn't see it anymore. I was just standing there, knee-deep in mud, looking around me.
Where did you go? Don't go.
Then what?
I ran back home to my grandmother and asked her if reeds could walk, and told her they were looking at me. Of course, she just laughed at me, but I knew what I'd seen. For years, it was a story I told at parties when I wanted to impress boys, that sort of thing. Of course, most people just took it as a strange, amusing anecdote. So did I, honestly. But then I met Morel.
We were on a date. Can you imagine? She tells me a story, and it's the most detailed report of the Insulindian phasmid I've ever heard. The sounds. She told me it hissed.
So that's how they met. This is beyond significant for them.
Oh, that's a nice story.
Yes, like reeds in a gust of wind.
The way it moved, the colour, how some of its limbs were white, like marble. It matched perfectly with what I know from other accounts. It was amazing. If it weren't for Lena, I might have given up hope years ago. It's no exaggeration to say that she restored my faith in my profession.
That's like a legitimately cute story. You were on a date?
Our first, yes.
Oh, its limbs are white?
Not all of them. There is some white coloration reported, along with beige, where the camouflage ends.
How big was it?
It's hard to say how big things are when you're quite small yourself. To me, it seemed to be taller than I was then, but that's probably not the case.
Thank you for sharing this with me.
You're welcome, sweetie. I do appreciate the chance to relive it whenever I get one. It was just such an impossibly sunshiny day. So warm.
And she could get up and walk right into the reeds on her own, into the mud, anywhere.
That's all for now, ma'am. Talk to the husband quick.
I couldn't possibly shower thanks on you as enthusiastically as my wife has, but I am grateful for your assistance, officer.
He tries to play it cool, remain professorial, but inside, this man is itching for some news on those traps.
So I checked all the traps.
Good. Okay. And?
And one of them was empty.
Completely empty?
Yes, there was nothing in the trap. No locusts, no phasmid.
No locusts? No phasmid either?
That's not ideal, but...
It just means the Insulindian phasmid is even more clever than we thought.
Of course, more clever.
You're dealing with a subject near and dear to their hearts. It might behove you to tread lightly.
Yep, that's what I've been trying to do.
Yes, the Phantasmadeia picked off the locusts and escaped. This is good news, though we'll have to reconsider the design of the traps, make them more secure.
Another trip to the reeds.
Are you sure you've exhausted all the alternative explanations?
Of course we have.
Wait, Morel. He may have a point. We have an obligation to rule out other hypotheses.
You're right, dear. It's a fair point. But what other explanation could there be? Pardon me. This is a big deal for us. You've helped us twice now, and brought some great news too. My gratitude, and the gratitude of the Société Cryptozoologique de Revachol, is yours.
Heartfelt gratitude. But does it feel like closure? What really happened? Some kind of foul play might be afoot. Theft?
Thank you, it's an honor. We should probably return to our main investigation here. This has been refreshing, but...
Helping cryptozoologists isn't really a priority for our organization, is it? The lieutenant looks out the window, impatiently.
We have a very high chance of getting this. Develop an alternative theory about the missing locusts.
Consider the way the empty trap was disturbed, as though shaken. Most likely the hands of a young person. Hands small enough to fit inside the trap, too. You should ask the red-headed boy, Kuno.
I think a little hooligan called Kuno may have stolen the locusts.
A little hooligan? But what would a child want with bags?
Oh, my dear Morel. You've been an old man for too long. Kids love to torment insects almost as much as they love to torment old folks.
I'll talk to the little gremlin and see if anything comes up.
Delinquents. My favorite.
Oh, you've been such a dear to us. Please, let us know whatever you turn up. I have a feeling we're getting so close.
Well, I see you've got all the help you need. I'll see you tonight at my place. Let's play suzerainty, but no more field trips for me.
After this is your last chance to talk to Gary.
Really, Gary? We're getting somewhere here. I'd love to play suzerainty, but...
Lena, I'm sorry, but you're not getting anywhere. It was some kids. I know the little mutants around here. Leave anything out in the open and they'll steal it, even if it's bugs. Morel, it's been fun, really, but I need a bath and I have deliveries to handle. When this tea is done, I gotta run.
No need to apologize, Geary. You'd be more than helpful. We'll have to take a rain check on that game of suzerainty today, though. We're gonna follow this through.
He keeps the language unemotional, but it's in there. Disappointment.
Did you know Gary was hiding the armor?
Hell no. I had no idea. And I'm still cross with him, to be honest. It's not like him. He's got his quirks, but dishonesty, disloyalty are not one of them.
I don't know what got into him, officer. Thank you for letting him off easy. He won't forget it. We'll make sure he won't.
Right. Okay, this will be our last chance to talk to Gary here.
Always a pleasure to see an officer of the law. I mean, officers.
Alright, looks like he's got nothing new, so we can let him go. What about you guys? Anything new here?
Yes? What is it?
Did you hear that? Did you hear me sing? Did you like it?
That was pretty good, Harry. Wasn't it, Jean?
Whoa, how does she know your name? She probably heard it from somewhere. You have to be more careful, karaoke star. Names are dangerous.
That was absolute shit, if you want my opinion. Drunken shit. Haven't wanted anything to end this badly since I had cluster headaches. Horrible. Truly horrible. I beg of you, don't ever subject anyone to this torture again. I mean, seriously, you need to.
Jean, it's not right. Don't make it worse. And I really liked it.
She actually did.
Look, something is really bugging me. Are we or are we not from the same police station?
God damn it, you leave her alone. Keep your weird bullshit to yourself and be professional for once, for fuck's sake.
Can I actually help you with something?
Yes, of course. Preposterous. I mean, you would remember if they were, right? Who forgets their squad mates? That's not possible.
Are you with him?
Of course I'm with him. Why do you ask?
He seems like a cool guy.
Well, he's not. He's a sack of shit barely kept together by crazy glue. But at least he tries. Unlike you.
Please, let's not turn this into another exchange, okay?
Did you just call me Harry?
Yes, I called you by your name. What about it?
How do you know my name?
God, everybody knows your name. Please go finish your investigation so everyone can go home.
Okay. About you? You got anything new?
I can't believe this shit.
He might be wearing a disguise.
Cool shades. Are you wearing a disguise?
Yes, it's a hobby of mine. Okay, why not? Let's do the old thing over again. We're not wasting time. There is no time.
Okay, I'm doing this investigation. Man's hanged.
So, do you know who hanged him?
Hey, why am I even telling you this?
I don't know. Why are you? Oh my god, there's more. You want something more? What is it?
Okay.
The man doesn't reply. He's
So I think that's everybody here. What do I want to do next? I might try to confront the strikebreaker guy. See if I can get anything out of him. Because if he's like with the mercenaries, one of which got shot and hanged, then he might know something about what's going on.
there. Do you smell that?
Smell what?
Can you not detect that inimitable whiff of dissatisfaction and restlessness? That sense that the world is in need of dramatic, even violent reordering?
Close your eyes and take a deep breath.
Can you smell it now? You inhale. The cilia along your olfactory epithelium tingle with excitement as they sift through the swirling morass of industrial odors. First come the smells of the agitated strikebreakers, layers of body oil and sweat, over-buttered meals pulled from Bakelite lunch pails, the biting stench of lye soap. And then there's the slowly oxidizing metal gates, the scent of stale grease emanating from every crack.
Oh?
Everything in order, detective?
I'm working on developing my political consciousness.
You're developing your... You know what? I'll just leave you to it. Carry on, detective.
It is a mark of the lieutenant's respect for you that he does not press you on this decidedly extracurricular errand. The lieutenant lacks your highly developed politico-olfactory cortex. The reek of communism is undeniable, and it's coming from that railing right there.
You mean from Manana?
Yes, now's your chance to establish contact. But be easy about it. Communists have been known to charge when startled.
Okay, I'm gonna talk to this guy first. Gotta save.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
Are you a mercenary hired by Wild Pines? Just come out and ask it.
Hell no. I'm just an honest scab. I won't have talk like that around here. You understand?
It just has to be said, that was not a convincing line.
Hell no, I'm just an honest scab? That didn't sound too convincing.
Fucking loincloth.
Loincloth? Now you see, that's not really what a scab would say, is it? Better not to press the issue further, sire. He seems tense.
Say it very quietly. Is there a tribunal being convened by any chance?
Fucking bug.
You hear a tiny rattle, a small radio, cracking somewhere.
Oh.
Earpiece.
How about you fuck off now, huh?
Okay, of course.
There could be weapons aiming at us right now, somewhere above, in the buildings. The other merc. Don't push this, he's thinking. This is not the time.
Oh. I see you there. Don't want to become famous spy.
The man's
back
breathing
off.
steadies, but his eyes are still narrow. Slowly, he's trying to get his right-to-work dance back on.
Think you may be able to help me decipher some tattoos.
Don't think so.
Suddenly, this feels like a really, really bad idea.
Okay, I want to see what happens. I'm gonna directly tell him it was on your Colonel.
Wordless, he takes the photo and looks at it. Grey eyes dart back and forth on the glossy surface. His face is unmoving, hard as a stone, but beneath it, you see dead flesh in colorful rivers of polychrome, melting skin and hair.
Fucking loincloths. Really did him in.
Loincloths?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what the tattoo means?
What it means. I can tell you what this one means. Only one. You want to hear what happened here?
Yes.
Our colonel is deep in the bush here. Deep in the fucking bush. In Benital, 41. Monsoon season. He's on a reconnaissance mission. He spent a month behind enemy lines, scouting kipped villages. Nothing but fucking bugs and snakes for fun. Men are getting restless. There's talk of switching employers.
With some strange emotion, this is about to get really graphic. Last moment to back off.
Hear it.
Our boy, he's only a captain then, but he knows how these men think. If they don't see action soon. At dawn, he comes upon two kids, breeding in the bushes by the river. Or maybe they weren't breeding. Maybe they were just making eyes at each other. I like to think they were breeding. We shot the boy. He was useless, but the girl, she was nice. A little fat, you know, but not too old.
I don't like where this is going, but...
She was quite the entertainment for the week she lasted, expired in the hands of Sarge Mason. The kind of guy who'd make Chief there shit his pants and cry like a bitch. God. Mason couldn't let go. Cut the tits off her cold body and fucking ate them.
Yikes.
Said primitive spirits were watching over him now.
Well, that's something. I guess we were warned, huh?
Drowned in a creek a week later. Spirits my ass.
Something stirs in your stomach. The story must have stirred up some conflicting emotions. The man looks tired for a second. There's a word on the tip of your tongue. Colorless, odorless. It's...
evil.
You bet it was.
What is evil?
It's just nature. This guy, he used to say evil is when nature and spirit meet in the wrong place.
You were there?
No. I was in the domain, in Jamrock, being a bouncer.
You're not really a scab leader, are you?
Fucking mask is getting sweaty. I want to take my mask off. But...
Have it back?
Go ahead.
All right, now. Free commerce! Keep the goods flowing!
Well...
On the photo in your hands, the dead man's skin is studded with stars. Tens, hundreds of them, littering his dead skin.
Well, he didn't, like, punch us or anything. That got pretty dark, didn't it? Okay, let's talk to this guy. Maybe he'll be a palate cleanser.
Hola, wandering man. How can I help you?
Attempt to establish contact. Listen, brother, there's something important I need to talk to you about.
What's that, boy? Yeah?
Now's your chance. Remember, communists are notoriously skittish, so it's best to insinuate your way in.
I am investigating a peculiar smell, one with revolutionary implications.
Could be coming from one of the jam lorries. Cargo's been sitting out for a while.
I'm looking for some people who know how to really grind a sausage, if you know what I mean.
Have you tried a butcher shop?
Okay, maybe it's time to abandon the subtle approach.
What I'm trying to say is I'm looking for communists. You know any?
Ah, now I see. Can't say I'm surprised. You seem to take your communism seriously. Not a bad thing, mind you. It's good for a man to take time to think about the whole socio-political world picture.
Oh, he certainly likes to take his time with things, especially when politics are at issue.
So you've given up copying and now you're hunting comunistas. Care to say why?
I'm not hunting communists, I'm trying to get organized by them.
Oh, I see. I wish I could help. Unfortunately, I don't know many comunistas.
I know you said you're not really a communist, but aren't you actually a communist?
Maybe, maybe not. Either way, I'm not institutional. A man's got to blaze his own trail, in my book.
Blazing his own trail, being his own man. Not exactly your typical communist spiel. Okay, so maybe he's not exactly a communist, but there's definitely some communistic residue about him.
Communistic residue?
But you know, I did meet a genuine ideologo a few months ago. Perhaps he's your guy.
What's an ideologo?
You know, a guy with a theory. Someone who likes to pit his theory against other theories in deadly theory combat.
How'd you meet him?
It was late one night as I was leaving the arbor. He was waiting on the corner in a bright white jacket. Classic Sarameritian style. He asked me for a light. We shared cigarettes. Then he asked me if I ever thought about getting into some of the extra physical branches of communism.
Hang on, what does that mean? The extra physical branches of communism?
No idea. I took it to mean he was asking me to join some sort of underground cell. A very old school organizing technique. The sort of thing comunistas used to do before the revolution.
What did you tell him?
The same thing I always tell people who try to press some claim on me. I said, every boyadero rides alone.
Okay, how do I find this guy?
I couldn't tell you. Once I declined his offer, we finished our cigarettes and he disappeared back into the night. Just before he melted into the shadows, he turned to me and said, "Remember Dobrava and Abadanais."
Dobrava and Abadanais.
And then he was gone.
Who are Dobrava and Abadanais?
I don't know. Guess not everyone remembers.
What do you think it means?
Been wondering about that myself. Some comunista inside talk could be. Not meant for the wider public. They love that kind of thing. You'd have to ask someone who knows the ideologo personally. I have to say though, it sounds like you found yourselves a proper hunt.
The man whispers a jaunty tune. A coastal breeze ruffles his hair.
Good talking to you. Gotta run. All right. So now I can hand over that document that has the forged signature on it. So in the short term, we'll make Everett happy, but in the long term, that village will be protected. They'll be able to dispute the claim on the document and be able to prevent the youth center from being built. So in the long term, we might make enemies of Everett. We'll have to see how it goes. All right, let's go. Hey, anything new with you?
Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk. Sure, mister. Absolutely.
Nothing new there. In that Everett's little container.
Yes, of course. Now we're on the right track.
Inhale.
It smells like. We're getting crates and pallets calling to mind. Vast stands of winter pines. A swirl of ancient odors absorbed by heavy carpet fibers. But also a pervasive, treacly sweetness that somehow reminds you of cola nuts. The whole place could probably use a good deep cleaning, you think?
Well, smelling much communism around the Union boss's office?
Hush, Kim, I'm detecting.
Mr. Dubois, I hear the meeting with Titus was a glowing success. That's such a relief. Titus can be a handful sometimes. Now, what can Everett Clare do for you today?
Oh, I haven't mailed it. I need to actually mail it. I can just come out and say, I'm looking for a cell of underground communists. Can you help me?
Mr. Dubois, really? Do I look like a man who has time for underground communists? I'm as above ground as it gets. Now, was there anything else you wish to discuss today?
Alright, we need an actual mailbox in order to mail this thing. I forgot we don't just hand it over, we mail it. Oh, hey Sophie. Nice, how far have you gotten so far? I see. So that, I don't remember, that's past the point where you can finally get a mount, right? I remember that was really annoying for me, like, having to walk around everywhere. Yeah, that's great. All the walking gets really annoying. It wasn't that bad the first time around. Hey, wait a minute, what's this? I've never seen this.
Control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked Marsh and Arret are faded with use. It seems to control the large crane above. A container is attached.
Oh, you mean the scholar fairies? Basically, they're sort of healing pets, and all the abilities in your abilities menu that are sort of fairy actions, they come from the fairy. There used to be a difference between Selene and Eos. There isn't anymore, though. They kind of got rid of that for was it Stormblood or Shadowbringers? One of the two. They sort of made them exactly the same. It's just aesthetics now. It used to be that Selene had more sort of niche abilities, like it had an area of effect, a Suna effect, and a small damage buff, but they got rid of that. Now they just all have the same abilities. It was Marsh.
With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air.
Okay. All right.
And with a surprisingly quiet thunk, the crane places the container down. This crane was built with a purpose, which has now been fulfilled. To move this container.
What's inside the container?
Who can say? All you know is, it's special.
I can't see how that was worth the wreckers, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
Okay. Let's see what the story is with this container here.
Before you stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard.
Lieutenant, I think there's something special about this container.
You do? Because I don't.
What? Why not?
There are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one?
I don't know, Kim. It just feels special.
It's a cargo container, detective. Just like all the others. We are not here to interact with containers. We are here to talk to the Union, right?
Knock on the door.
No reply. The knock produces a hollow ring of metal. Doesn't sound like there's anything inside the container.
Open the door.
You attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. The doors seem to be mechanically locked. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement.
Nothing more to do here for now. But what if I press this other button down here? What's that one do?
A rusting control panel.
Alright.
The crane does not return to its original position. It does not move at all.
Did that do anything to it?
You're back before...
I have some clothes with weird things on them. What if I put them on?
The luxury of fine things. Just look at those black monk straps. After spending an entire day hustling, who's to say that you didn't deserve a pair of ridiculously expensive shoes on your tired feet?
Yeah, just choose whatever you like. And you can, like, change which one you're summoning at any time. It does have a cast time, so don't get rid of it. And if you die, it doesn't get resummoned, so remember to summon the fairy again if you end up dying. There's no reason you'd really change, just like, I'm not really feeling green Eos, I want yellow Selene. Or vice versa. It's just a personal thing, really. Beautiful things do make people happy.
Beautiful things give you a rush. It's power. Crafting your style, draping your flesh in silken leather, deciding how to present yourself to the world. Remember, when they come to take it away from you, you worked for those shoes. Whether you like it or not, wearing these shoes has made you more liberal.
Oh no.
Ultra liberal.
Oh no.
These are some wonderfully regular pants. Not too tight, not too loose, moderate in every sense. You'll be right in at some pleasant dinner party. Let's hope no one saw you wearing those outrageously regular, almost moralist pants.
There we go. Now we're not wearing pants. We can't let ourselves become too liberal. That would be a disaster.
You're back before...
And get the shoes off too. There we go. Alright, now let's look for a mailbox. I believe I know where one is. Oh yeah, so Twitch is adding a whole bunch of tags. They've specified a few that they're adding, like more specific LGBT things, but I'm kind of curious to see the whole list. Might be some interesting ones. some cool little sub communities. I know they've said like there would definitely be a VTuber tag too, so another one that will be pretty useful. I think these things will help with discoverability a little. Discoverability on Twitch is just like awful. It's very, very, very top heavy. Like, if you're already successful, you'll just get more and more successful. But if you're like my size, like tiny, it doesn't really do much for you at all. Like, you really have to figure out how to market yourself externally, and like, I've never been good at that stuff. I'm just a software engineer. I don't know how to do marketing. Okay. Box should be around here. Here it is.
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito, bullet holes, and an RCM sticker.
I knew we'd get to use this mailbox. Something.
Yes, for sending mail.
It's for sending mail. Drop the white envelope in.
Envelope in the darkness. It lands with a soft thud on what sounds like a couple of letters. About a week's worth of mail as collected in there. They'll empty this very soon. Probably did the right thing. You can't trust that slug, Everard. You know he's going to play you somehow.
All right, let's go back to Everard. If we don't mention anything to him, he won't know before it's too late.
All right. Yeah, it's like negative discoverability. Really sucks. Okay, back to where we were. Yeah. That's the thing though. Platforms like Twitch and YouTube, they're not really that interested in having a lot of successful streamers. And video producers. What they really want is to constrain success to a few extremely successful producers, because the more people they can have like give up, the easier it is to host the massive amount of content that they need to host. It's sort of built with the expectation that, yeah, people who unfortunately don't really know what they're doing and get too hopeful are gonna get their hopes dashed. It's a bit of a cynical way to see these things, but it's sort of how they work as capitalistic enterprises. There's a reason that people on these platforms who succeed just get ridiculously big, while the vast majority of people don't really see many viewers. Okay, now we can talk to Everett.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair.
What's in the container that's outside your office?
My dear Harry, there are literally millions of containers in this harbor. I couldn't possibly remember what's in all of them.
There's something special about it. It was attached to the Coulsoned crane.
Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Time is a precious resource, and I don't have enough of it to count containers with you.
Smooth talking. Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least try convincing it.
It's done. I mailed the signatures you asked me to mail.
The Golden Boy returns once more. Wonderful. Simply wonderful, Harry. Of course. I already knew this. My friend, the mailman, confirms the letter is on its way. You've done a great thing today. You've given the children of Martinez a future and proven to be a true man of the left. I can finally trust you now.
Okay.
You're in my inner circle. You too, Mr. Kitsuragi. We can talk about anything. The strike, the murder, your lost gun, nothing is off the table.
Oh, Bratan, you play the old man like a three-string banjo. He has no idea.
Better not to gloat, sire. 'Tis arrogance that gives the play away. Be subtle.
Did you order the Hangsman killed?
Order it? You know my men didn't kill him. They told you. It was a happy accident. You know how it is. No one takes the initiative. If I wanted him dead, I would have had to do it myself. And I'm too fat for that.
What do you gain from him being dead?
Why, a war, of course.
And what do you have to gain from a war?
Victory, Mr. Kitsuragi. I have victory to gain. We are going to start a war with the Wild Pines group and win before they even realize there is a war.
They're trained military people. Aren't you afraid for your men?
Harry, we outnumber them 1,500 to 1. And that's just Martinez. With all the unions in Revachol, and with public opinion on our side, we can hold off 2 men, or 15 men, or even 50 men. The more they send, the worse it's going to look for them. They made a huge mistake hiring those guys. No one likes foreign mercenaries. The leftists hate them, the fascists hate them, even the moralists think they're in bad taste.
How is this connected to the strike?
Harry, there is no strike, only war. Class war. Or, in business terms, a dawn raid. Or wait. Is that when you still pay them something? Because we won't do that. We're not going to give nothing. We're going to take Terminal B away from them. The roads, the gates, the containers, that big crane, even the damn coffee maker. We're going to take all of it for the people, and fuck Wild Pines.
Hello, Seahorse. How are you doing?
The word fuck rings like a gunshot from his mouth. He doesn't swear often.
So that's why you haven't let Joyce in?
Yes. It's also why I let that midget Gaumont go. He's too nice. I can't put him through this. Plus, he knows how to get in here. That woman can't tell her tits from her asshole. She has no chance.
What?
Tits from her arsehole. It's a local saying.
Hmm. Yeah, this guy is the union leader, and he's just a little bit corrupt. Just a little bit. Why are you telling me your plans?
Because we're friends, Harry. Besides, it doesn't matter now. You can go tell her if you want. It won't change the course of events. We have a significant head start. It's already happening.
Signatures I got? I know you plan to force them out with the construction noise.
Harry, by now you should know I would never do anything tricky like that. However, if the construction noise and limited street access makes some people consider moving, well, let's just say there'll be freshly renovated buildings near the roundabout where those poor people can finally enjoy a significant uptick in quality of life. I'm talking real affordable workers' palaces.
Mm-hmm.
He proudly spreads his hands to demonstrate the size of the palaces. They're very large.
So the village is doomed.
You were there, you saw the place, a wasteland, there's nothing left. But mark my words, officers, we are going to reset it.
Reset, you say?
I have big plans for Martinez, and they do not include humans living in those pig sheds on the coast. That land will be used for municipal buildings and commerce.
What do you mean?
Harry, imagine a youth center supermarket church complex, employing hundreds, no, thousands of people. The coast will be lit up with enterprise and life. All those ruins out there turned into low-income housing. Harry, enough is enough. We're taking this district back. The war was 50 years ago, for God's sake. It's time to move on.
You supermarket church complex. Do you really expect me to believe that?
Yes, I do. I got the center, I got room for a retail complex, and in 4 years, I'll get the church too. The wheels are already turning, Harry. The wheels of progress. This post-war limbo, I won't stand for it. There are kids practically playing with their own feces out there. It cannot go on.
There is true indignation in his voice when he speaks about the state of things, and even a touch of pain.
I knew you were up to something.
Damn right I'm up to something, Harry. I'm gonna make the working man as rich as Joyce Messier. That's my job. Just like yours is to keep the peace.
Who killed the hanged man?
No idea. Could have been his own mother for all I know. If you ever find the guy, give him a big fat kiss from Everard Clare. Couldn't have done it without him.
He really doesn't know. A guy, huh?
How do you know it's a guy?
I don't. I told you it could have been his own mother. I'm pretty sure it wasn't anyone from the Union. Maybe it was the mob. Or maybe he killed himself because he was a closet socialist. Truth is, I simply don't know.
He really doesn't.
How many of you guys are there in the Union?
2,372. Plus yours truly, of course.
Has that memorized. Are you going to fund your new independent harbor?
Oh, you mean what sort of goods are going to be flowing through? How am I going to replace all the contacts we'll lose once the poo-poo hits the fan? The clients will ditch us. Harry, we've thought of everything.
Everything?
We've been running back channel negotiations with all the major clients. I think the company will be unpleasantly surprised to see how many of them stay loyal to Martinez and to the new competitive contracts we can offer. With renewed zeal sparked by communal ownership, the men will be shipping those containers double time. You'll be surprised to see how fast things go without parasites latching on. We'll have our hands free to pursue bold, exotic new revenue streams.
That's drugs.
Drug trafficking.
Drug trafficking? Don't be stupid, Mr. Kitsuragi. There are perfectly legal, 100% ethical chemical factories on the Samaran Isola. You don't need to be colonialist about it. All they do is produce components to keep the pharmaceutical industry running. That's people's health we're talking about. Old grannies, little babes, people with disabilities.
That's just the top of the iceberg, though, isn't it?
The company thinks transporting these chemicals in bulk looks bad, has bad optics, may be illegal in some countries. The Debarders Union, however, we're all about the large volume column. We're gonna transport the living daylights out of those materials, Harry. So your sick kid can get his benefit, and your wacky uncle doesn't have to come off risperidone.
And the kids on the street can get speed and pyrrolidone.
I'm an old-fashioned guy, Mr. Kitsuragi. I sometimes grab a beer with the boys, but I have no idea about the things you just mentioned. But if I were to supply ingredients for some sort of rainbow party, I would make sure the Union took a fantastic share, and I'd keep that stuff far away from Martinez.
Is Ruby helping you secure this fantastic share?
Harry, if I was supplying raw materials to drug manufacturers, I would need an army of rubies.
Understood.
Drugs are a no-go for me. I have to admit, that's a well-put-together plan, far removed from you.
It's also far removed from my men and the people of Martinez who've put their trust in me. Anyway, let's not focus on the sensationalism of the drug trade. This hypothetical drug trade is all anyone ever seems to be interested in. It would only be a small part of the harbor's turnover, just like the harbor is, but a small part of Martinez.
It would still be illegal.
Let's look at the big picture. Martinez as a whole. There are little girls out there with dreams of making music. Young mothers who want to start businesses. Models who want to walk catwalks and steel welders who want to weld steel. I'm gonna unite them all into one economic body. We're gonna incorporate this place to Kingdom Come. Everyone's gonna be in on the wealth, and everyone's gonna pull their weight.
Let's keep focusing on the drug trade. He was almost admitting to it.
Hold on, I don't want to look at the big picture. I want to look at the drug trade you almost admitted to.
No, Harry. That's boring. All right, it's gone. The hypothetical raw materials trade is off the table. It's such a small and insignificant slice of revenue, I'm cutting it. Boys, Harry felt queasy about it. We're not doing it. Can we talk about my beautiful incorporated Martinez and its many-sided business ventures now? This bold new vision of incorporated socialism I'm offering?
I don't like a lot of these options. It's very ambitious. I love what you're doing for the working man, with a little bit of sarcasm.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you. You have no idea how much it means to me, because in many ways, you are that working man. You have already done so much work.
So, can I ask you about specific union members?
We're way past specific union members now. This is the big time. We're talking about the future of Revachol here, Harry.
Oh?
You can bother Leonard with that. He loves to run his mouth on such matters. But I'm in big-time mode, Harry.
Are you now?
There's something different about him now. He's more vibrant, more alive in his big-time mode.
Can I get my gun now?
Harry, I've got to be honest with you. Your gun was found 2 days ago. Withholding this information weighed heavily on me, but it had to be done.
Fine. Where is it?
An old woman has it, and let me tell you, Harry, word on the street is she's a character, so watch out.
An old woman.
This must be the woman who bought the gun from Roy, the one he described as terrifying.
So the gun's still with the woman who bought it from Roy.
Yes, the same one. I see you've done your research. The pawn shop made the gun easy to track. Crazy stuff, Harry. Selling your gun like that? Wild. Anyway.
Union Boy's gonna help you fix it. He winks at you. Don't worry, Harry.
The neighbors of this old woman contacted my men because they trust me and the Debarders Union. Apparently, she was waving it around at the entrance to her building.
Waving the gun around doesn't sound good. None of this does.
He was waving it around at people?
As I said, she's a character. I didn't have time for details. It sounds like she's unstable, but don't worry. No one got hurt.
It sounds like a very disturbed and desperate individual.
Who is this old woman?
Unfortunately, I don't know anymore. You're gonna have to go in blind, Harry. But she's an old lady. How dangerous can she possibly be? Oh, and she calls herself the Pigs.
There it is again. The Pigs. Like Roy said, not good at all.
I, for one, find it refreshing. Finally, someone calls themselves a pig.
It actually sounds extremely bad, but let's not give him the satisfaction.
So, can you set up a meeting?
I already have. Tonight, starting 10 o'clock, near the old fish market on the coast. The one on the boardwalk, a little past the fishing village. Be careful, Harry. I would never set you up for anything dangerous, but you did ask for this. Now, back to the fun stuff.
She will be there from 2200 hours till 0200 hours.
So late tonight.
More fun stuff.
Gotta remember.
Seems like we already have fun stuff to do.
That's it for now.
Great, Harry, great. I think we have truly built a bridge between Martinez and Jamrock today. We have united the RCM and the Debarders Union. This has been so great. I'm sorry we don't have more fun things to do together, but if you ever feel like bouncing something off me, my door is always open. I'm always happy to educate and entertain you, my friend. Very nice, Harry.
Alright, we're done here for now. We got one thing to do. Oh, right. Might be able to talk to this.
You're back before the cargo container. Its draw has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly.
Rhetoric. Do we have anything that will improve that? I'm not seeing anything. So let's just give it a try.
Before the cargo container. Its draw has not lessened since you were last. Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric?
Yeah, why am I?
Why are you what?
Anything at all.
Now is not the time to get philosophical, detective. You can do that after hours.
Open more here. So we got a bunch of stuff that we're just kind of waiting on. Like we gotta wait for the ice to melt a little more, or to get the data cube we need. We're waiting on this appointment we have tonight with the old lady to get our gun, hopefully. With what Everett said, I'm guessing he will possibly try to shoot us at some point, but we'll see. Down here. There we go. Okay, one thread we can kind of look at is, let's see if Kuno did anything to the insect traps. He's still here. We screwed up with him. I don't think we can do that. Oh well. Press the wrong thing at some point, can't even interact with him anymore. Oh, there's this guy here. You here before? Oh, working class woman. A good one?
Yes? Hello?
Who are you?
Me? No one. I'm just a working class woman.
She doesn't really want to be disturbed that much.
What are you doing?
Looking for something to read.
Phenomenal.
It is.
Blues 87, Radio City. Seems important. Oh, one more lead we have. We can... down to the guy who's playing shot put.
Vigilance officer, what can this old carabinier do for you?
Renee, I found your guard booth.
Yes, the Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the night. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you. I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight.
He feels like he has to justify himself for some reason.
You must have seen something on the night of the murder. Your booth looks right into the yard.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday.
So who was working your shifts that night?
No one. The booth has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard. It's just me.
No one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday.
Yes. It's not actually an issue. I mean...
Look, officers. The container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before René. Monsieur Claire had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative.
Mostly decorative?
The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiniers' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated Kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
Today's but one man. We need a program. Get all the elderly back in the job market, keep folks motivated.
Look, officer, Can we conclude the topic of my guard boost now?
I saw a picture in there. You were in it. You looked happy. Who's the girl?
She is nobody. This is none of your concern, and I refuse to discuss my private affairs with the RCM.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Hmm. Got it.
Yes. Like I said, it would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
Do Maybells mean anything to you, Renee?
I prefer the old name, Insulindian Lily. Girls brought them to young cadets when they entered service. Wearing them on your cap was supposed to bring good luck.
Hold on, is this a royalist military tradition?
It used to be. But the communards were fond of them too. Call them revolutionary flowers. Bells of the revolution.
Did they bring you good luck?
You know what? No. They brought me misery, false hope, and disappointment. The revolutionaries sullied them.
You stirred up some bad memories there.
But it wasn't the revolutionaries that sullied the ID for you, was it? She gave them to me too, and your jealous little heart just couldn't accept it.
Enough! I can go over these matters in detail with you, Gaston, but not while we have company. So, officers.
Maybells don't blossom yet, do they?
Maybe on some remote parts of the city they do. But I think you'll have to wait for at least a month.
What is it about this old soldier that makes him stand so proud?
As René turned from you to his partner,
Success.
The medals on his chest rattle and glare. He keeps his spine straight and his ribcage lifted, displaying them proudly.
How many medals are there?
2. The larger one is shaped like a cross, while the smaller medal resembles the sun.
Look at the cross.
A crowned head in front of 2 crossed rifles. The medal hangs from a blue striped triangle.
Look at the sun.
A small blue star inside an orange sun. It has the word Valiance written below.
The medals, did you get them for...
For bravery.
It's a conflicted topic for the old veteran. There must have been a number of controversial episodes in his service days.
For bravery?
For doing my duty in the heat of battle. For looking my mortality in the eye. When men like Gaston here hid in the bushes and shot themselves.
He saved some muddy princeling who foolishly strolled into the front line in his gown of velvet and gold.
Saved a princeling?
It was on the first months of the revolution here in Revachol. Unrest was spreading like wildfire. Marauders had taken most of the Couronne and were getting really ambitious. King Frisel thought he could end it all in one decisive strike. Sent his cousin, Drisson, to put an end to the unrest. Alas, the young Drisson was all piss and no vinegar, wearing a tunic of purple velvet and cockatiel feathers to battle. Even his rifle was gold-plated, shone from 5 clicks away. Can you imagine the asininity?
He really despises that dry sand fellow.
Purple velvet tunic. That isn't exactly camo.
No kidding.
To keep the long and bloody story short, Drisson marched us against the partisans in Couronne. And when I say marched, I mean made us walk into captured enemy territory, single file, like toy soldiers, while he rode in front on his giant red stallion. The rebels were smart. They let us come real close before opening fire. Suffice to say, it was carnage.
Pretty damn clever indeed.
I got shot in the left shoulder and went down. Just a flesh wound. But just as I turned over, the prince fell into the mud next to me. He was missing his lower jaw. Then his horse, driven mad by the noise and smell of gunpowder, stepped on my leg and shattered my knee.
Oh.
Hang on to the story. Veterans get sentimental after such retellings. This might yield something useful.
Okay, then what did you do?
I grabbed my sidearm and shot the beast in the head. Then everything went black.
Capitaine Arnoux, le fléau des chevaux.
When I came to, it was all over. It was just me and Joe Lestresson, gurgling in the blood-soaked mud right next to me. The dink had taken numerous flesh wounds and lost a lot of blood. But despite missing his jaw, he seemed hesitant to die. Tougher than he looked, that one.
I'd give up. Can't imagine living without my jaw.
He didn't. I hoisted the prick on my back and started crawling. Kept going until the 59th Cavalry picked us up. Through some miracle, we both survived. And the jealous freak convinced Frissel to give me a medal for not leaving him to die in his own blood, piss and shit. He was the commanding officer and I was on duty, just doing my job. Shouldn't hand out medals for that. 13 months later, I received the Sun for distinguished service. It's not worth mentioning.
You sense he's downplaying it. He did a lot more than his duty. More than anyone's duty. It's in his spine, in his billowing voice, and untarnished self-worth.
Why do you despise Dreisent so much?
Because he was a goddamn dandy. Had no business leading men or even being on the battlefield. All he was related. That's it. Royal blood alone doesn't make army commanders. He was a stupid kid, only interested in horses, hairstyles, and man-loving. And 782 Royal Carabiniers are dead because of his incompetence.
Sounds like you're being modest, Renee.
The old carabinier stands quietly like a statue, his features motionless.
What Monseigneur Modesty is not telling you is that he crawled over 7 kilometers before the cavalrymen found him and Drizant. 2 days later that was. And that even while crawling with a mangled half-dead prince on his back, he still managed to murder 3 rebels on his way.
Is that pride in his voice? It's deep down, but maybe even unbeknownst to the man himself, it's there.
Don, you're just a little bit proud of Renee's heroics, aren't you?
Sorry, officer, but you're reading me all wrong. I'm a man of peace, and these kinds of bloody heroics are only impressive to men like Rene himself. Certainly not to me.
That's so.
How did you find the story to be, officer? Maybe, but also bear in mind, officer. They don't end this out for anyone with a service record. Oh no, you have to get shot repeatedly, and you need to get your hands bloody too. Really, really bloody.
Do not speak of what you know nothing about, Poltroon. Duty is something you will never understand.
Thanks for the story, Renee.
Bah! There were many such stories in those days. Many such men, too. True Revacholians. Men with backbone.
Oh, yes, René, yes. Men were bigger, girls were prettier, and everyone wore the fascia. Lord, please bring those days back, if you can.
I'm not getting into this with you again. Officer, was there anything else?
Now I'm pressing with your heroics. 3%. Thanks for your time. Oh, here comes a thought.
What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate, Political opinions somewhere in Martinez.
Discard thought.
Must have been a false alarm then.
Not going there. What do I think? About Seahorse? Is that what you're asking? Because yeah, I absolutely agree. Very cute. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's very cute. Okay, where's the next lead? I think I'll go speak to the Wild Pines rep. Fill her in on what's going on with Evrart. Hmm?
There it is again. There's a spectral scent haunting this pair, no doubt. And it smells like sea brine mostly, because it's a pair. Years of turmoil, of hopes and dreams, ground beneath the inexorable tides of capital.
Close your eyes and take a deep breath.
What do you smell? The first thing that strikes you is the overwhelming brine. You imagine yourself underwater, a 100-legged anthropod scuttling along the murky silt at the bottom of the sea. But then, the unmistakable reek of seagull shit hits you, buoyed along on the air currents. An acrid melody atop mouldering cords of wood rot and heavy fuel oil.
Still smelling for communist, detective?
Yes.
Well, I'll be over here when you're finished.
His impatience is feigned. He's actually curious to see how this personal errand shakes out. What the lieutenant thinks is irrelevant. Your politico-olfactory cortex is lighting up like a holiday display. The scent of communism is overwhelming, and it's coming right from that balcony over there.
Oh yeah, that's actually a lot of it is from a recent update in March, I believe. Yeah, they added pretty much full voice acting. There's only a couple of things that aren't voiced. There was a decent amount of voice acting before, but nowhere near this much. Yeah, the Ultimate Edition. A pretty intense free content patch. It was pretty cool. Sort of a great way to sort of celebrate all the acclaim this game has been deservedly receiving. Oh yeah, if you
a precocious communist youth
had the game, it was a free
symbol of a
patch.
kinder, more hopeful future. Now's your chance to establish contact with your revolutionary brothers and sisters. A chance to establish contact with the future. What a beautiful, terrible thought.
Okay, we'll have to talk with her in a bit. But first I want to talk to you. Joyce.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Got my badge, by the way.
By love, you did.
Fast, observantly, like an electronic printer.
Pleased to meet you, Lieutenant W. Freighter Dubois. I am glad to see a man of high qualification. The situation is precarious. What can I help you with, Lieutenant Freighter?
Got some more questions about reality.
More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything. Glad to have been of assistance. The little that
You
I
and
know.
Everett again.
She's not even asking you anything. It's so easy to just say.
He asked me to deliver an envelope.
Sounds like he has you running errands, Detective. A well-established dominance ritual. Where did he have you deliver it?
To a nameless settlement down the coast nearby.
Ah, yes. I've been meaning to go there.
With longing. Clear and simple longing.
He wants to build a
Why does she want to go there?
youth center here for the children of Martinet.
A youth center with Edgar Clare's statue on top of it. Go ahead. Help him. Make it so. I have no power to stop him.
You're quite fond of this village, aren't you?
I should be. In my youth, I had a brief dalliance here in Martinez. He was an older man with impossibly broad shoulders. He's probably dead by now. Even his shack is long gone. Not that it matters. These buildings are all carbon copies of one another.
When you were a teen, slumming it like you told me before.
I'm glad to see your short-term memory appears intact. In any case, I wasn't a teen anymore. I would have been in my early 20s. I remember a distinctly vile disco track.
Disco isn't vile.
It is, but not as vile as me.
Sounds like you miss those times.
Not overly so. It's not like this was the only place we visited. Me and my girlfriends from Azon with our shiny boats, like reavers. We told ourselves we were the worst thing to happen to the coast since the Coalition landed in '08. Imagine.
She's sentimental, all right. You don't know enough about her to find out why exactly. She will keep her secrets for now.
So you're sad you can't buy the place?
Yes. I'm sad I'll never have the time, Detective. I've always wanted a dilapidating fishing village. Full of ghosts and ancient memories. Has this errand yielded you any information?
Mr. Everett is helping me find my gun.
Oh. That's so helpful of him.
The lieutenant looks at you, and you can swear his jaw muscle is trembling. He's able to contain the anger and surprise. When I said be wacky, I didn't mean wildly, grossly irresponsible and damaging to the RCM.
Unconventional police officers sometimes lose their guns. They then go around and tell people about this to gauge their reactions. It's all part of detecting.
Incredible. Simply incredible. And how is it going? Has this detecting produced a gun?
No.
Well, maybe he's not as helpful as you thought then. Is there anything else? Of course, Detective. You can always drop by later. should something
Okay.
come up. Now, what else can I do for you?
Doesn't look like there's more to say here. Going up here. load up here. Here we go. Hello.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
That bed in the coal room yours?
Ooh. Not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret. I'm a coal miner.
She does have eyes that seem to be smeared with coal.
Not the nicest place, but I guess it'll have to do.
It doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing does. Like me. Right now, I'm doing nothing at all.
Really? You're a miner?
Yes. I keep hoping a shaft will collapse on me. But somehow, it never happens.
Don't you have a real home?
Does anyone in a city like this?
If there's pain about any particular home she's lost, she's buried it deep, fortified herself against it.
Cool.
Shoot, Piggy. It's what you do, isn't it?
Just and fuck the world's in their best.
I don't believe it. I've never known those boys to have manners.
The bemusement in her voice doesn't fully mask genuine tenderness.
They seem to hold you in high esteem.
They'll never be skulls, but their hearts are in the right place.
Skulls are cool. Can I be a skull?
Fat chance. But you can still do your part to revitalize the neighborhood.
Okay, then how's that?
She throws you a conspiratorial glance, then presses her finger to her lips and squints up at the sky, as though straining to hear something in the distance.
Have you noticed the quiet? Every so often, you might hear a gunshot pierce the air somewhere in Jamrock. But in Martinez, no gunshots, no sirens. The people are languishing in boredom and complacency. This place is a sepulchre. We'll paint it red. We bring the raucous. You bring the sirens.
Hey, sister, let's talk politics for a minute.
And what do you know about politics?
I'm looking for comrades to help me fire up the great Mazovian sausage grinder. Will you help me?
Oh, that's very nice. The little piggy wants to make sausages. Out of what? His little piggy friends?
No, the bourgeoisie.
So the little piggy is a big bad communist now. Sure, I know someone who'd love to talk the ideological stuff. You're looking for Steban.
Who's Steban?
A right communist who runs a mega cool and very secret meeting.
Does this Steban happen to have a jacket like this?
He might.
Will you help me find him?
No.
Is it money that you want?
Keep your money. What I want from you's better than gold.
Don't look so deflated. Whatever she asks, you keep your chin up.
And what's that?
A wicked grin extends across her face. A laughing skull. Death hilarious. This is gonna be bad.
Oink for me, piggy. Just once.
Come on, this is no way to treat your revolutionary brother.
Wrong! This is exactly how I treat my little brother.
Reluctantly, wink wink.
There, that wasn't so bad, was it?
The lieutenant, needless to say, is not impressed.
Sounds like you're really serious about meeting Steban. It's touching, sort of. Steban's group meets only at night, in an old room in these apartments here. It just so happens you're in luck. Their weekly meeting is tonight. Poke your snout around sometime after 10 p.m. and you might just find them.
Why do I feel like there's a catch?
Oh, smart pig. Because there is. See, Steban's a bit on the paranoid side. He's got all these mega secret passphrases to keep out infiltrators and the like. You can't join the meeting without one.
Not to interfere in your personal errand, but I wonder whether it might have something to do with that phrase Mañana mentioned overhearing.
Wait, what phrase?
Remember Dobreva in Abadanais.
All right, good thinking, Kim.
The lieutenant nods.
Guess this is what happens when two pigs put their heads together. That's enough. Off with you then.
Okay, so we have two things to do tonight. This meeting and the appointment for our gun. Hopefully we will have enough hours to get both of them done. I might start with this meeting. But unfortunately, we are coming up on time. So, let's have a look. Anybody on? Oh, perfect. Maple streaming. Well, I think that'll be it for today. I hope you all have an awesome rest of the weekend. Thank you for watching. We're gonna go visit Maple Renard now. So thank you all. Been a gay Saturday. Thanks for being here with me. Sending you all over now. Bye.